Alright, this is showing a provisional cast on for a rolled rib. This is available for, it lends itself quite well for sweater bottoms, sleeve cuffs, hat brims, and sock tops. So, I've already started some of this. I have cast on 56 stitches. The orange thread is my provisional and my live stitches are the blue yarn. I'm going to show you a transition from the first row, and you're only going to be doing half of a row per round, or half of a round at a time. So you're only going to be doing the knit stitches. You're going to come over to here, which is where my slip knot is. That's my beginning, and then I'll be doing the purl stitches. So I'll be doing the second half of the round, and then I'll be coming around again, knitting, coming to here, and then purling again. So I will do, it's 4 rounds, but it's only actually 2 rounds because you're only doing half of it. At round 5, you commence your 1x1 rib as normal, but you then have only 3 rounds of ribbing. You need to understand that it's only halfway. This stitch is a knit. It's in front of the orange yarn. So I'm knitting my first round, or the first half of my round. Knit, bring the yarn forward. Now this is behind the orange yarn, so that's a purl stitch. It's on wrong, because if I were to slip it this way, I'd get a twist. So you come in this way. Take the yarn back. Here we're in front. We're going to knit. Bring the yarn forward. We're in back. So that's a purl. Bring the yarn back. Yarn forward, or knit to stitch, yarn forward. Slip the purl, yarn back, knit the knit, yarn forward, slip the next stitch, that's a purl, yarn back, knit, and my last stitch right here is a purl. And I take this off, and if you notice there's that slip stitch, so we're going to show you. Yarn forward, slip the purl. Now after this, all of my stitches are aligned correctly. My yarn's in the back. To make it easier, I keep the slip knot. I'm going to slip the slip knot that has the 2 yarns, 2 threads together. And I'm going to slip the knit stitch, because I'm not going to be doing, I already knitted, so now it's time to purl. Bring the yarn to the front, purl, yarn to the back, slip the knit, yarn front, purl, yarn back, slip the knit, because you see it's already been knitted. This will, when I get around this second time, I will have completed 1 entire round. It makes a very nice, oops, I'm supposed to purl this one. Makes a very nice rolled rib. You don't have an edge, because the stitches just go right around to the other side. Unlike with the 2-needle cast on, long tail cast on, any of those, you always have that little ridge. You will not have any ridges on this. Slip the knit, purl. I'm a thrower, I've been told. I've also been told I'm called a right-handed knitter. A little unorthodox, because I don't tension my yarn, I hold my yarn. So, a lot of people tell me that that's a little bit weird, but that's me. Purl, take it to the back, slip the knit, purl, take it to the back, slip the knit. And you're going to slip the knits like you're going to purl them, because you want to keep the orientation of that leg right there in the front. It's very important that your stitches line up on your needle correctly, because then the transition is a lot easier at that point. I've got a white towel down here. I know it looks orange. I've got really bad lighting. I apologize. And as we go around, I will include a picture of what the final rib looks like without the cord in it. And I'll keep the cord in here until I'm past the ribbing and I know where I'm at. I'm coming right up here to where I'm going to... Okay, there's my beginning again. So we've almost completed the second half of the first round. As crazy as this may look, it's a beautiful effect. I don't remember where I learned how to do this. I think it was an adaptation from somebody who said cast on half the stitches with waste yarn and you knit one. It was actually for flat knitting. You would knit one, yarn over, knit one, yarn over, and then you would start slipping the knits and purling the yarn overs. A long time ago. It's back in ancient history in the back of my brain now. Okay, slip this. First half of the second round is knitted. So we're just going to basically be slipping, dragging it backward. If you notice, the yarn is now in the center. It goes along a little channel. This is a lot like double knitting. If you've ever done a tubular knit on two needles, it's called double knitting. You actually are knitting half of the cloth at a time. Comes in handy if you're working with something and you don't have circular needles or you don't have double pointed needles to do the end of a hat. It's gotten too small. You can actually put it on two standard straight needles and do a tubular knit then, or double knitting. And when I come around to my yarn again, to my beginning point, which is my slip knot, when I get to row 3, I will knock the slip knot off. I don't need it anymore, and I will then just do my 1x1 rib normally. There's a way of doing a rolled rib for a 2x2 rib, but I don't normally do a 2x2 rib. I prefer a 1x1. It's my choice. If I ever have to sit down and figure out how to do a 2x2 rib, I'll let you know. And I will probably post this on a link to this. This is going up on YouTube, obviously, because you're watching it. But it will be linked to the Delphi forum called Knit and Chat. It's a place for knitters. Carol Ann is our moderator. And I go under the same ID that you have for the YouTube, except they put a 1 after my name for some strange reason. They didn't want to just do a, they just didn't want to put in kitty cats. They had to put in a 1 off after it. I don't know why. And there we are. And if you see, you can see how we're starting to roll around, and that orange string, it's actually pearl cotton, is inside. So this is the edge where you see that yarn is, where it's crossing over. It's very nice, very smooth, very stretchy once I get that yarn out of that provisional cast on thread out of there. Okay, so that is the rolled rib with a provisional cast on.